Every hero faces challenges, but not all challenges are created equal. Across the Zelda series, Link has been more than just the wielder of the Master Sword. He's been a farm boy, a sailor, a time traveller and a knight. But which version of Link has proven to be the strongest? Today we're diving into the trials, failures and triumphs of every incarnation of the hero to uncover the one who stands above them all. Strength isn't just about wielding the Master Sword or battling monstrous foes. It's about resilience, how you rise when everything crumbles around you. Throughout the Zelda series, each Link is a hero in their own right. From the young farm boy of Twilight Princess to the cartoonish but determined hero of Wind Waker, every Link has faced seemingly insurmountable odds. But the question is, which Link had to endure the most? Who faced the greatest trials, not just physically but emotionally? To find the strongest Link, we first need to look at the competition. Let's compare their struggles, starting with some of the fan favourites. The two caveats here: firstly, I'm only looking at the 3D games, as their characters are much more fleshed out. Secondly, the elephant in the room, Skyward Sword Link is not even in the conversation. That guy had it easy in comparison to his counterparts. Okay, first up, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask Link. This Link faced the burden of time itself. He was forced to leave his childhood behind, fight a future he didn't ask for, and save a kingdom that barely remembered him. Then, in Majora's Mask, he's thrown into Termina, a twisted parallel world, where he relives the same 3 days over and over. His strength, enduring isolation and the existential weight of his journey. And let's not forget, he becomes trapped as the hero's shade, unable to move on from his bitterness at not being remembered as the hero and failing to pass on his teachings to the next generation. Next up, Twilight Princess Link. He's a reluctant hero from a peaceful village who steps up when his friends are kidnapped. He battles against shadow beasts, faces horrific transformations, and literally wrestles a giant boar. This Link starts his journey as a simple ranch hand in the peaceful village of Orden. He's not a knight, nor is he chosen by prophecy at first. He's just an ordinary young man living an ordinary life. That all changes when his friends are kidnapped and his village is thrown into chaos. What sets him apart is how he rises to the challenge without hesitation, even though he was never groomed for greatness. He's thrust into a world of shadow and despair, transformed into a wolf against his will, and forced to navigate a kingdom plunged into twilight. Imagine being stripped of your identity and grappling with the monstrous side of yourself. His journey is filled with trials that test his physical and emotional strength, from battling the monstrous Twilight beings to confronting the betrayal of Zant and the looming shadow of Ganondorf. He even faces off against Ganon in his beast form, going head to head in a primal raw clash of wills. Twilight Princess Link's strength is not just in his physical prowess, but in his ability to face the unknown with unwavering courage and adaptability, even when he's completely out of his depth. Let's now move on to Wind Waker Link, a personal favourite for many. This Link, unlike other Links, doesn't set out to save the world. His journey begins with a desperate and deeply personal mission. He sets sail for one reason: to save his sister Aryll, who has been kidnapped by the Helmarok King. This Link faces challenges that seem insurmountable for someone so young. He braves the vast and unpredictable Great Sea, taking on colossal foes like the Helmarok King and Puppet Ganon. He is thrust into a world that initially doesn't seem to care about his plight. He's a tiny figure on a vast ocean, battling forces far beyond his understanding. What makes Wind Waker Link truly remarkable is his emotional resilience. Along the way, he learns that the world he's fighting to save is doomed. The Kingdom of Hyrule, which he's barely begun to understand, is destined to sink beneath the waves. Yet he doesn't give up. when he learns of his connection to the legendary hero, it's not destiny that drives him, it's his unyielding love for his sister and his newfound sense of responsibility to the people of the Great Sea. Even when faced with Ganondorf, a seemingly invincible adversary, this Link fights with everything he has. He delivers the final blow in one of the most iconic moments in the series, driving the Master Sword into Ganondorf's head. His strength comes from his determination and his ability to rise to the occasion. Despite his humble beginnings and his humble island home, it also lies in his heart, with his unwavering determination to protect the ones he loves, no matter the odds. But then there's the Wild Era Link, the hero who doesn't just fight monsters, he fights the crushing weight of failure, not once, but twice. This Link's story is one of tragedy and redemption. Let's start with Breath of the Wild. A century before the game begins, Link is the chosen hero, but he's not enough. Calamity Ganon overpowers him, leaving him mortally wounded and Hyrule in ruins. When he awakens 100 years later, it's not to a triumphant call, it's to a broken world and a kingdom that no longer remembers its glory. In Tears of the Kingdom, his struggle only deepens. He fails to protect Zelda from Ganondorf and he nearly succumbs to the spreading gloom. If not for Rauru's intervention, Link's journey might have ended there. This Link isn't fighting for destiny or duty. He's fighting because there's no one else left. This guy lost his memories and even one of his arms, but his desperation to make things right despite his failures is what sets him apart. If you think about it, Wild Era Link is the Zelda series version of Bruce Wayne in The Dark Knight Rises. Let me explain. By the time we meet Link in Tears of the Kingdom, he's a shadow of his former self. Just like Bruce Wayne in the third Dark Knight film, everything has been taken from him. He's not consumed by his grief. He's royally pissed off. Remember that iconic prison scene in The Dark Knight Rises, where Bruce declares, "I'm not afraid, I'm angry."
Fear is why you fail.
No, I'm not afraid. I'm angry.
That's Wild Era Link. He's been beaten down, left for dead, and seen the world crumble because he wasn't strong enough. But instead of succumbing to despair, he claws his way back, fueled by a fire that no other Link has quite had. So, why does all this matter? What makes Wild Era Link stronger than any other? Because strength isn't about never falling, it's about falling again and again, and still getting back up. Ocarina of Time's Link was the hero of destiny. Twilight Princess Link was the reluctant saviour. Wind Waker Link was the brother who wouldn't give up. But Wild Era Link, he's the hero who was broken and rebuilt himself twice. His strength comes not from being chosen, but from choosing to fight when there's nothing left, when the odds are stacked against him, and when the world has already written him off. Do you agree that the Wild Era Link is the strongest, or do you think another Link deserves the title? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell for more Zelda deep dives. Thanks, have a good one and catch you next time.